Preloved Chica, passion for fashion.
Hi everyone, and a very warm welcome to this week's episode of Preloved Chica. And I've got with me today a guest all the way from London. I've got with me Louise Croft, Pauper to Princess. Give us a
Hi, so good to meet you guys.
Oh, it's lovely to see you. And I know that I met you, you've got a fabulous YouTube channel, and I just thought I need to talk to Pauper to Princess and find out her secrets.
Well, yeah, it's amazing we haven't met earlier, really, on the charity shop scene. It's a small world, isn't it?
I know. I've got one of my favourite pairs of shoes I bought from Marylebone High Street charity shop, and who knows, I could have bumped into you there.
One day, we'll do a podcast live.
Yes, that's perfect. And so, you know, I know that your whole thing is all about charity, thrifting, and clothes, finding clothes that are less than £5.
Mm-hmm.
How did you get started? Tell me how you got started with all of this.
Well, as a kid, you know, my parents used to go to car boot sales or whatever for us to fill the day, but I was never that into it. Although when my dad gave me £5 to spend and I came back with 20 Barbies, I started to see the magic compared to Toys R Us, where I've saved up my pocket money for months and months. So it's always been kind of bubbling in the background, but it wasn't really until I went to America for 6 months, and the thrifting out there is amazing, and everyone seemed to have a blog. Everyone just had a blog about their life, and it was much more normal. So I thought I may as well start one. I was doing lots of thrifting at the time, but I didn't want to do one just about myself or my life. I thought I would do it about charity shopping. So that's when it started, and then it's been going ever since. And when I was a student, I got really hooked on eBay, and you have the time and you're trying to be budget conscious, and now I travel a lot and I find it a really cool way to see different places of the city that you wouldn't normally go when you're traveling. So I love thrifting in other countries as well.
Oh, that is so true, because you do see a different side of a city, don't you? What's the difference, do you think, about the thrift stores that you found in America compared to some of our charity shops here?
Well, they're really different in America because they're so big. So they're huge warehouses, and everything is fixed price. So all the dresses are $6 and all the tops are $5. And it doesn't matter whether they're new with the tags on or whether they're horribly stained. So it means it's kind of more hard work, but you can get some amazing bargains. Like, you know, Jade with the tags on costs exactly the same as Primark. So you can get some bargains, but it's also kind of more hardcore. And when you come in, there's just this giant warehouse and you don't even know where to start. Yeah. Whereas the English ones, they do a lot more of the work for you. So it's smaller, it's very like well curated. Normally they've got a good eye, they steam things, it's quite clean. Yeah. And then there's still a mixture of prices. You can go to the cheaper ones that are a bit more rummagey, or you can go to the smarter ones where it's more like a high street shop where you can just walk in and pick up something and know it will be lovely. So yeah, America's kind of the big like mass style compared to the English ones, which seems so tiny in comparison. But I guess that's England overall.
I mean, look at our roads and our streets, you know, when the Americans come here, it's so quaint because everything's on a small scale. Same thing with the thrifting and the charity. But some of our charity shops now are colour coordinating clothes, aren't they? You know, that makes it interesting too. You know.
They're really coming up in the world. I think there's a good spectrum now. The same as with normal high street shops. You want a range, don't you, of some posh ones and some cheaper ones. And I think charity shops are reflecting that now. They've got some really boutiquey ones with lovely design, and then they've got the crazy ones where you're just down on your knees. So yes.
Yeah. And I'm hoping you're going to share some of the places that you like to go in London, because I think that would be helpful for a lot of our viewers. So how often would you say you hit the shops then, looking for a bargain?
Oh, probably about once a week, either a car boot sale or a charity shop. It depends, sometimes more, sometimes less. But I've only just moved to London, so all my friends who live there are like, oh, Louise, will you take me charity shopping? So I'm ending up going a lot because everyone wants to be like taught, although I don't know, really, it's mostly just practice. Yes. So that's been fun. But my favourite ones in London are Fertha, which is Fertha in Notting Hill. It's a really, really good one, very affordable, and it's an independent. So this lovely girl, Jade, runs it, and she goes to warehouses and shops of other charities around in different areas, and she picks things that she likes and then she sells them in hers and sends the money back to them. So it's very
we'll give a shout out to all these charity shops you're talking about on this video later. So thanks. So that's one. That's Jade. We'll check out Jade's shop.
Yeah, she's very good in Notting Hill. And then the Allaboard shops, I've done a couple of YouTube videos with them. They're a chain, but they're only in London. And theirs are really good, affordable. They're quite old school. They're a bit rummagey, but they get some really nice brands and very well priced, I think. And then my favourite car boot is the Pimlico car boot sale, which is actually called Capital car boot, but it's in Pimlico. And it's good because it's in a school, so it's all year round. And you get a mixture of Jimmy Choos all the way down to Primark and makeup, and there's normally someone there who's a Topshop addict who's having a big clear out. So there's always a good mixture of finds there, and it's nice if it's all year round. You don't have to think, what time of year are we?
Oh, brilliant. And is that on a Saturday?
It's actually on a Sunday, and it's nice. It's quite a late one, so you don't have to get up really early. So I normally go about 11:30. I think it opens at 11 for normal people who aren't kind of professional hunters. I think it opens at 11, so it's nice because if you're out on Saturday night you don't have to get up too early.
Oh, that's true. Well, actually I've been sorting out all of my clothes, and next Saturday there's a car boot or a tabletop sale at our local theatre, so I'm really looking forward to being on the other side because I've got so much stuff that I would love to give away to people, and it was great, the whole thing of this way of shopping. It's great for the environment and all the other exciting things about this kind of way of styling yourself, really.
Yeah, my top tip for a car boot if you're selling is to have really clear pricing. I normally have one table where everything's £2 and one where everything's £1 or whatever you want to do. And then, because people get a bit embarrassed sometimes if they have to ask the price, or I just keep it really simple. And then if you want to reduce something, you can just move it onto the cheaper table, or you can change the sign half price. And I think that keeps it easy for you and keeps it easy for them. So
I like that. I like that tip. Thank you. Okay, so car boots and some of the charity shops you go to in London. Anywhere else?
Well, I went to actually a very good one in Brixton the other day. There's a huge Barnardos there, and I would say genuinely 50% of their stock was French Connection. The kind of ones that have got a bit damaged in the shop. So lots of them were white with makeup on, which is easy to fix. Yes. A couple of them had some little pulls, or maybe they hadn't sold that well, but loads and loads of brand new French Connection and very well priced. So lots of good workwear, some slightly quirky things. And I thought that one was really good. So the Barnardos in Brixton, I would recommend.
Ooh. And the thing is, if you are buying from a charity shop, people get a bit sniffy about, oh no, I wouldn't ever dream of wearing secondhand. But what advice would you give to people who are thinking like that?
I'd say start with the more upmarket ones, like the Oxfams and the ones which sort it really nicely. Like Oxfam is always very well presented, and you pay a little bit more, but that's fine because they've done a lot more of the work for you. So the stuff is going to be very good quality, very clean, that kind of thing, nothing damaged. So that'll give you a good starting point, I think. And then as you get more into it, you can move down the ranks to the more intense ones, which are a bit cheaper.
Yeah. Yes.
I would say start with the big brands where they're really nicely sorted, and in some posh areas, so you're going to find some labels.
And you can always wash these things. I mean, I'm quite happy to get on my hands and knees and rummage through little boxes in corners. Yeah. I'm happy.
And I always think in a shop, someone might have bought it and returned it, or certainly it's been tried on in the changing room. It's still possible that it's not brand new. But yeah, once you've washed it, it comes out, doesn't it, I think? Absolutely.
You've got a beautiful top on today. Did you buy that somewhere secondhand?
I did. I bought this yesterday in an Oxfam, actually. It's got a little dropped waist peplum on it, a little soft denim. So, of course, always in charity shop clothes.
Oh, yes. I think for me, probably 95% of my things are from charity shops and occasionally eBay, but there's so many places now. And also the excitement of having something slightly different, compared to what everyone else is wearing.
Absolutely. And I find you can still very much match the trend. So this top has got the dropped waist, which is very much going to be in, especially denim, a little bit boho, embroidered, gypsy. That's going to be all over the shops this summer, but you can still get it in a charity shop if you keep your eyes open.
Right. And Louise, you're a fashion blogger as well, aren't you? So you know a lot about fashion. How, you know, I mean, how did you get into fashion in the first place?
I've always loved fashion, and looking back at pictures, sometimes it went a bit wrong, but I was always passionate about it, even as a child. So I suppose it's come from that. And then in sixth form, we were allowed to wear whatever we want, but my mum said to me, you shouldn't wear jeans because it's school and you're supposed to be being serious. So I got really into dresses and heels, and I was the famous one who wore heels every day, and that kind of sparked something in me. I got really, really into fashion then, and when I discovered charity shops, I realised I could be very playful with it, very creative, and I buy a lot of things that I only wear a couple of times, but they're from charity and they go back to charity. So it's kind of a guilt-free way of doing very fast fashion and being quite playful with it.
Oh, I love that. Two of the words you said there, playful and fun, because, you know, it should be, shouldn't it? Clothes are, you know, a great way to express yourself, be creative, and, you know, those clothes that you get often in charity shops, you know, can be sort of quite old in some ways, go back, you know, decades, and no one else is ever going to have anything like that.
And I often buy things that are a bit outrageous that you wouldn't buy for full price, and maybe you only wear it once, but because it's cheap and it's from a charity shop, you can just experiment and try out different things and find out what works for you.
So have you got a big bag of clothes ready to go back down to the charity shops then at the moment?
Always, yeah. I keep a bag actually just on my door, and whenever I pull something out and I'm not in love with it, I just put it in the bag, and then I kind of have an ongoing thing. And my number one tip is never look in the bag. Because when you take it to the charity shop, you'll think, oh, actually, maybe I'll keep that one. But when you were feeling strong and you put it in the bag, that was the right decision. So I never look in it again. Once it's in the bag, it's gone.
That's a great tip, but I have actually, I must admit, been into charity shops when I've donated my things and I've recognised my things on the hanger and I've been attracted to them, and then I thought, no, hang on, you had that once, time to move on, get something else. There's lots, it's a bit like, you know, all the books in the world that you can read, there's all the clothes in the world that you could potentially wear.
My favourite is when my item's in the window. I always feel like that's a big compliment if mine's made it into the window.
Ah, yes. Well, what great tips. So do you have anything else that you'd like to mention about this whole way of shopping and dressing, the magic of thrifting?
Oh, well, I suppose the main thing is just to give it a try. It's really not a skill, it's just a practice. You have to learn these things just by practice. So go into one, see what you find, let your imagination go wild, and just give it a go.
Oh, excellent. And if people want to follow you and find you, where's the best place for them to look to find you there?
Well, my blog is paupertoprincess.com. And then you can also find me on YouTube at Pauper to Princess, and the same on all the other social media. But if you go through my blog, you can find links to everything there. And yeah, go ahead and check it out.
Oh, excellent. I've certainly signed up for all your things, and I know you do regular YouTube videos every week. So definitely check those out, won't you? And thank you so much, Pauper to Princess. It's been great speaking to you today, and I'm sure we'll meet in real life one day soon. Thanks again.
Thanks for having me.
Bye.
Bye.